Hi everyone, welcome to my short video on the interaction of picture books between Taiwan and mainland China. For this project, I wanted to explore how picture books have traveled across the Taiwan Strait, sometimes building bridges, sometimes getting stuck. I will walk you through a small curation I created that includes key authors and works from both sides, along with the cultural and publishing contexts behind them. And as someone from the mainland China who is now deeply involved in children's literature, I've often seen the same picture books recommended on social media repeatedly. Lists like 100 must-read books for children tend to recycle familiar names, and most of these are either Western classics or a few popular Chinese works. But during my research, I found that many high-quality picture books, especially from Taiwan, have had limited visibility on the mainland. I wanted to use this project to highlight those hidden gems and how cross-strait interaction in Chinese children's publishing can open up more diverse experiences for both young readers and adults. So how did I choose the works for this curation? To organize my curation, I followed a simple structure: publishers, authors, children, and I as a researcher and behind them. This flow reflects how picture books are created, shared, and remembered, starting from production through storytelling into young readers' lives, which include my own reflection as a researcher and former reader. From a theoretical point of view, two key ideas guided this structure. First, from our course, the idea that children's literature is a resource of hope. Second, I was inspired by Jella Lipman, who saw children's literature as a cultural bridge. She believed that stories could help build empathy and peace, cross borders, and connect people even in divided times. That's exactly what I hope this curation can contribute to, even in a small way. With this idea in mind, I built my curation not just to show books, but to explore how they carry memory, meanings, and possibilities, especially between Taiwan and mainland China. This timeline just shows rough point, which helps to understand the following sessions. And so let's start with Taiwan. Taiwan's picture book scene has been vibrant since the late 1980s, and one of the most important publishers is Jim Press. They focus on high-quality design and often introduce international illustrators to local stories. This combination gives Taiwanese picture books a distinct artistic style. One of the most famous Taiwanese author is Jimmy Liao. His works like The Blue Stone, Turn Left, Turn Right, and The Starry Starry Night became very popular in mainland China during the 2000s. Jimmy's books are known for their poetic language and dreamy illustrations. They're not just for kids. Many adults also find comfort and hope in his stories. His books often talk about loneliness, imagination, and finding light in dark times. I think that's why they struck a chord with mainland readers in the early 2000s, a time when more people were becoming aware of mental health and emotional growth in education. I'd like to say Sound of Colors is Jimmy's most famous work. This heartwarming story in the underground left a huge impression on my generation. And another key figure is Fang Suzhen. She's a strong voice for children's literature that reflects both personal emotion and cultural heritage. One of her picture books, Grandma, was illustrated by a German artists and illustrated into English. This became popular in mainland and Taiwan around 2015. This story shows a unique kinship and the attitude towards death in Chinese context. We also have Gui Wenya, who helped build the academic foundation for picture books in Taiwan and encouraged research in this field between Taiwan and mainland China. So let's talk about the mainland China side. Since 2010, mainland China has made notable progress in picture book publishing. Key publishers like Tomorrow Publishing House and CCPPG not just only promote domestic authors and international collaborations, but also shown growing through limited collaboration with Taiwan, highlights cross-strait cultural exchange in children's literature. And so now let's come back to the curation. A New Year's Reunion is a well-known Chinese picture book which was written and illustrated in mainland China, and this was originally published in Taiwan. Later, it was also published by Tomorrow Publishing House on the mainland, showing a rare but meaningful example of cross-strait collaboration. The story follows a little girl named Mao Mao, whose father comes home only once a year during Chinese New Year because he works far away as a migrant laborer. This book gently shows the excitement, warmth, and sadness of reunion and separation. It reflects a very real part of childhood for many families in China, and I think its emotional honesty and the sense of belonging are the main reasons why this resonated on both sides of the strait. One of the picture books I included on the China side is a beautifully illustrated story about the life of a lutein seed, told through traditional Chinese painting and poetic language. The book follows the seed journey across the four seasons, from sprouting, growing leaves, blooming, and forming new seeds and returning to the earth. It is not just a science story, it is also deeply rooted in Chinese artistic and cultural traditions. What's interesting is that this book, though created in mainland China, it's also sold in Taiwan. It reflects a shared cultural heritage across the strait, showing how picture books can carry both beauty and the meaning. In reviewing the Chinese Children's Literature Awards in recent years, I also found traces of works by emerging writers and exchanges between mainland China and Taiwan. For example, Yi Wen is a rising picture book author and illustrator from Taiwan. Her books combine blood visuals with meaningful social themes, and they've been getting attention from readers in both Taiwan and mainland China. One of her well-known works, Secrets at Zoon, tells a magical story of a boy's visit to a Zoon and was selected for the 2022 Bologna Illustrators exhibition. Once upon a time, a king came to the island, brings Taiwan's history to life while touching on human rights and memory, and the prince who hates the green caterpillar flips a classic fairy tale to explore gender and self-identity. Although her books haven't been officially published in mainland press yet, they've started to gain traction on platforms like RedNote, where younger parents and educators share reading experiences. Many are drawn to her unique way of blending Taiwanese culture with topics like women's rights and social awareness. Her growing popularity shows how social media can help bridge the literary gap across the strait, even without formal publishing ties. So, at last is gaps and hope. So we can see here's where the problem lies. Despite the shared language, the publishing worlds in Taiwan and mainland China often operate in silos. There's been very little systematic exchange of books in recent years. Some works cross over like Jamie Liao's, but many don't. That is a huge loss because readers from both sides could benefit from each other's stories and values. So, what could we do next? One of the challenges is access. Many Taiwanese books are hard to find in the mainland, and vice versa. There's also censorship, copyright issues, and market differences to consider. But I believe that social media platforms like RedNote can help change that. That's why I choose to present my curation as a video. It is easy to share, accessible, and can even be expanded in the future. I imagine a parent scrolling through their phone on subway, watching a short video about a touching picture book they've never heard of. Maybe they will go find it, maybe they will read it to their child. That's what this is all about. So, to the end, I'd like to return to the title of this project, Interaction. Interaction doesn't just mean importing or exporting books. It means dialogue. It means curiosity. It means choosing to see the world through someone else's eyes through this small curation. I hope to contribute to that interaction between Taiwan and the mainland China, between parent and child, between past and present. These are my references, and thank you for watching.